I remember to turn my microphone on eventually. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am still Blue Moony, fantasy writer and shy magical library in human skin. Hi! So lovely to see you all. I'm just going to turn this down because it just seems louder than normal. Not that I'd remember what normal is. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. Good midnight. Good midnight to you too. Feels wonderful to be back in our little virtual Australia, and you are so welcome here. It is lovely to be back. It is. It's been almost a month, almost to the day, hasn't it? I think our last stream was the 8th of April for me. So yes, about a month. About a month. I'm doing a small experiment with the latency on YouTube Studio, and I've turned it down to the lowest latency, so I think there potentially could be a few just visual issues maybe, but with any luck the chat will be less delayed. I'm hopeful. I hope that's how that works anyway. Oh goodness me, how is everyone? How has everyone fared this past month? It's yes, the trip was very interesting. It was a good trip. It was a good trip. Hi Reaper, lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Oh yes, the trip. Very, very long hours in the car, most days. Very, very bumpy roads. That's the thing with letting AI direct you. It takes you by the fastest way, no matter what the roads are like, and no matter whether there's any toilets available. We stopped relying so heavily on the AI fairly quickly. Excuse me a second. Yes, hopeful. Coughing shouldn't be too bad. I don't have a terrible cough. I think it's just I'm now talking a lot more than I have in the past month already. Oh, dearie me. Oh, dear. Yes, it was a good trip. We saw many things that I hope the small one enjoyed. We met up with quite a lot of family as well. I think that was the main point of the trip, was meeting with family. Oh, during the past month, I've been preparing for Mermaid. Yes, I've seen your pictures. They've been beautiful. Mermaid. That's such a good idea. Such a good idea. I'm glad you're doing it, and I hope you're having fun. Oh, but isn't there a possibility to manually rearrange a route, even by adding stops? We did. We started doing that fairly quickly when we realized that the AI was not as helpful as first seemed. Not sure why we thought the AI would be helpful to begin with. Oh God, it's the mermaid. I always forget about the best stuff. You can always jump in now. It's only a few days into May. If you have time, you can catch up, and if not, you just start from where we are. Oh dear. But yes, also, small one. She'd been to a zoo before, but we went to a really good zoo, so that was good. Really good zoo. And also a sea world, so she got to see the dolphins and many other watery creatures. And as you can imagine, I spent a lot of the time sort of twitching and with my eyes closed and trying to hide because there were an awful lot of fish. So I wasn't very happy there a lot of the time. But it was worth it for the small one. I handled it as best I could. Oh, Smaugust is fun too. Ooh, I'm imagining that is fairly dragon related. Oh dear, that does sound like fun. Oh dearie me. But yes, we got back last week, and we arrived home to not the best surprise. Unfortunately, yes, dragons. Unfortunately, some rather small and furry creatures had made themselves at home in our home while we weren't here. The only evidence we saw of it was their droppings and the fact that they ate my oven mitt. We kept finding bits of white fluff everywhere, and it took me a few days to realize that that's what they had eaten. I thought they were chewing out the underside of the couch or something. But no, they devoured my oven mitt, and I found out. I found out when I went to try to use it, of course. Dragon August, huh? You are correct indeed. We shall look forward to many lovely dragons in August. But yes, we lay down vermin bait, and it seems they are nibbling at it. And also, the Mother Library looked it up, and it seems vermin do not like peppermint. Don't like peppermint. So, yes, our house now smells strongly of peppermint, which is not unpleasant in the least. Oh, hello, Mickey. Hello, hello. It's been so long since I've seen you. Welcome back. Thank you so much for the welcome. It is good to be back. It is good to be back after a long trip. And last week wasn't exactly a restful first week back, but it's all right. It's all right. We're doing all right here. The small one, unfortunately, was ill again, but that's what happens with travel and school and such. She has gone to school today, so hopefully she'll be all right. I've got my phone right next to me, so if there are any problems, I will, be ducking away. But I doubt there'll be issues. She seems perfectly fine energy and health-wise. It's just a bit coldy still. Remnants of cold. Alrighty. Where are we? I made notes. Yes, I figured we'd just have a bit of a chat for a while first, just to make sure as many people who'd like to hear the stories are indeed here. We have 2 beautiful stories prepared for us today. We have one, of course, by Ashley Rowan, and one, of course, by Elfie, which feels like coming back to an old house. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That reminds me of something one of my my high school friends used to tell me, that she loved coming to our house more than any other of our friends' houses, because I suppose we are all, our house was eternally cluttered, and the walls were just papered by framed pictures, as in you could almost hear the walls groaning under all the family pictures. And all the walls were different colors, and lots of blankets and cushions, and we always had a very comfy house. Yeah, it's yes, house no longer in the family, sadly, but the vibe came with us. The vibe always comes with us. So yes, comfy old homes are lovely, and I'm glad you get that feeling from these streams. Oh, so yes, if there's any stories that I've missed, please let me know, and I will find them. I will find them and I will read them. And if there's any that people want to write that they haven't gotten around to yet, write them anyway, and I'll read them during the next one. Oh dear, that feels so comfy. I know exactly what you're talking about. It sounds so lovely, like a perfect place for a time-traveling story. Ooh, that's nice. That's lovely. I think the only difference in the Mother and Father Library's new house is the walls aren't, is it a myriad of colours or myriad colours? I think either is acceptable. I'm sure I've looked that up recently. I'm pretty sure either is acceptable. Go into the closet with a photo and you move to its time period. Ooh, that sounds lovely. You should do that. You should do that if you have time and room among all of your back burner stories. We're not taking. Good idea. Take all of the notes. Oh dear. Yes, let me know if I've missed your story, and I will find it, and we will read it. I know at least one of the stories is a reasonably impressive length. So, because, I'm still a small streamer and we're still a small community, we don't have too many stories at the moment. If or when we start getting more, I may have to request either shorter stories or maybe not read all of them if they're quite long. But I think we're going to have time today. So please don't let anything like that deter you from writing what it is you want and need to write, whether it's lengthwise or otherwise. Oh dear. I did take a lot of notes because it has been a while since I've streamed, so I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Oh, yeah. I've got an open packet of chips next to me. I'm not going to eat any during stream, but as soon as I finished, I may wolf down the rest because I was so prepared for the stream today. I made sure everything was working last night before I went to bed. I turned on my computer early and I made sure everything was there. I got a slight scare from the microphone. It didn't seem to be working for a moment, but I just employed common sense reasonably quickly and fixed that up. But then, just as I was about to go live, I realized I'm hungry. It's the worst possible time to realize I'm hungry. So I raced to the kitchen, grabbed the first thing I saw, wolfed down as much as I could as fast as possible, and furiously brushed my teeth again, because I don't like streaming without brushing my teeth. Well, yeah, I really went all in, even correcting the story this week. I'm glad you went all in. I'm glad that you're getting something out of the stream that's, helping with creativity, or, even just something to do is nice. And I hope you enjoyed it. Well, Scribblehub gives a word number starting with a 6? Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sure I follow that. My mind is probably floating somewhere just out of reach. Oh, 2 lovely likes. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Oh, goodness me. I will start reading very soon. I think there's just a few little things I want to check first. Oh, yes. I nearly had a story this week. I finished it yesterday. Well done. Well done. I do have both of your stories up and ready to go. I'll probably read Ashley's first, since I think that one was posted first. Well, I'm not used to your streams being this early. Hello, Ancio. Yes, this is my new normal time. New normal time, because I'm actually awake now. And it's so lovely to stream and chat when I actually feel alert. I wasn't sure I was going to be, because I woke up, not feeling terrible, but still feeling incredibly weary. So I'm like, I hope that doesn't translate to the stream, but hopefully I'm not sounding too weary. Oh, one note though, I kind of put the topic on its head. You'll see what I mean. That's fine. It's all, everything is your own interpretation. It's all brainstorming. Anything you get out of the brainstorming session, or even just the topic, anything. So long as, oh yes, I don't think I put the, I've been meaning to put some stream rules for the reading ones in the descriptions, but I forgot again. But just in general, I think it's all just common sense. We are only about positivity here. We are only championing. Championing? My goodness, I can't say a normal word. Oh well. Hello everyone. Hello Ancio. It's so lovely to see you. But yes, all about lifting each other up with our writing and creativity, and in all other ways. So not going to be very happy if there's any nasty things said, but I don't think there's going to be any nasty things said. I really don't think there is. I am very much looking forward to reading. And what are my notes? Oh yeah, I suppose I don't really have to mention this, but it's been on my mind the last week or so I'll just mention it and give a few more people a chance to come if they'd like to come. It's yeah, I suppose I'm just oscillating again on what I should do with myself now and into the future when it comes to VTubing and writing. It's difficult. My head was trying to convince me to audition for a VTuber agency. And yeah, I suppose, the likelihood of getting it is so low that it wouldn't hurt anyway, but still, it's there's so many arguments against it, but there's so many arguments for it as well, and it's just difficult. Oh, I had no idea there's such interesting emojis on the YouTube chat. There are some cute ones there. There are. It's yeah, I suppose my head just started planning, if I auditioned for a company and I got in, I could, write these stories for them. And then, when I eventually leave that company, because nobody stays in companies forever, do they? I suppose we don't really know. VTubing hasn't been a thing for that long. But, Yeah, but I don't really want to wait with my main magical project, which I somehow doubt anyone would really want to work with. And even if they did, there's the worry if, for whatever reason, I had to leave before it was done, would I just lose the story because they would sort of own what I'd done already? So it's difficult. It's difficult. I feel you. Yeah. I suppose the other real push for trying out for a company is I really would like to live in Japan again. I know it's a bit of an illusion, maybe, but I feel like I was happiest there, and it would be nice to feel that again. But it's rather impractical, really. Wouldn't you need a second model for that? You wouldn't be able to use your company model once you return Indy. Yes, that's another thing. That's another thing. I understand. I'd still like to help you. Thank you, Reaper. You've lived in Japan before? I did. I lived in Japan for 2 years in my early 20s, which, as most of you know, is quite a while ago now. But yes, it was nice. I mean, I know it would never be quite the same because I don't think I'm a very different person now, honestly, but I have my family. I've got my small ones to think of now. And though, I imagine it would be a wonderful thing for them to live in Japan, the idea of taking them away from their grandparents would be a lot. And not just grandparents, we've got a big family. So, where in Japan? I lived in a town just south of Kyoto. I did, so I think on the express train it was only maybe 15-20 minutes to Kyoto. I feel like you should do whatever you feel most comfortable with. Yeah, thank you. It's a lot to think about. Oh, so that's why you read Japanese names with this nice vibe. Maybe I'm just, I did learn it for a long time, so I'm used to Japanese pronunciation and such. So, sorry, this is off topic, but the last time I turned in live you talked about Ruby. Did you see the Rooster Teeth news? Is that particularly recent or a few weeks ago? I know that the company is no more, isn't it? And, yeah. It's a difficult thing to know what to feel about, I guess, because it's, it sucks that people are losing their jobs, and some shows that either are good or have the potential to still be good may not continue at any point. But, there was just so much bad coming out about what's happened in that company. In that aspect, it's, hard to feel awful about it, but yeah. I think I do want to speed run Ruby at least once from the beginning, because I think I stopped after season 5, and I've seen a lot saying that, it's kind of gone really downhill. I would like to see for myself at least once. The animation industry is a tough place at the moment. It seems to be. It seems that, most creative fields aren't doing so well. But yes, animation in the game industry seemed particularly brutal at present. Ah, dear. So we should probably start reading in a moment, but the entertainment industry as a whole is, yes, I do agree with that. I do. It's not great. Not a great time to be creative, maybe with exceptions. Yeah, I'm guessing a lot of the exceptions would be when people somehow manage to succeed doing things independently, which would be wonderful. But I stopped at the beginning of volume 4. I was watching with a couple of friends, but honestly, Ruby's such a mess of a story. And it was such a good concept. It's such a good concept, and the music is still spectacular. I do listen to a lot of the music to get appropriately pumped for writing magical fight scenes. Yeah. It's unfortunate. I think it could have been incredible. I still want to do a speed run at least once, so I may have to resub to Crunchy for a short while to get that done. But some fun animation news that a lot of Disney Channel pilot episodes were leaked and archived. Ooh, goodness me. Oh, wow. This is probably, I don't know if any of you will know what I'm talking about here. But when it comes to Disney pilots, There was one sort of Disney pilot that was released at the end of the 80s that I don't think they ever made the rest of the series for, but my grandparents had recorded it from TV when it was on. And we used to watch it all the time, but, there was never anything after that. And it was called the Floppy Dogs, I think. Really cute story about sort of alien or magical puppy dogs in multiple colours, crash landing on a portal through Earth and fighting their evil sort of thing. And I think it was written even before the first Disney Channel series, which I'm pretty sure was the Gummy Bears. But, oh goodness me, the Floppy Dogs. I've got to try to find if that's been archived anywhere. Because it would be amazing to see that again. I don't remember, well, for me it was spectacular because I was a child. I don't know how well it's held up. Oh dear. Sorry, I'm behind in chat. Meanwhile, me stopping at episode 7 because that's where the fan dub ended. I go really attached to specific translations. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, now with anime, I generally have difficulty watching the English dubs, but for all the ones that I started watching when I was young and all we had was the dub, I sometimes still prefer the English voices for those ones. Oh, I really enjoyed the action scenes in Volume 1 and 2 in Ruby. Yes, they're so good. And the Rooster Teeth sight is down now. Okay. Bit of an end of an era. I got into Red vs. Blue very, very late and did enjoy it at the time and feel very silly now, given, not much of that has aged very well, has it? I mean, there's there's quite a few random lines, harmless ones, because the other ones wouldn't wind up in our lexicon, but a lot of harmless lines that are still a bit funny that just wound up in our everyday use. And so we still giggle about that, and I hope that's okay. I think it is. But yes. Oh dear, you'll remember that Mickey Mouse in the public domain now. That's the Steamboat Willie one? Yeah, he is. I think, didn't someone make a free VTuber model of the Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse now that everyone can use? Ooh, almost, but yes, it's online. The YouTube archive even has the old ads included. Is that the Floppy Dogs? Wow. Oh, goodness me, I'll have to find it. Oh, I found it. Thanks for that. Oh, I'm very chirpy now. I can look up the Floppy Dogs and it'll be there. I found a few random clips of Red vs. Blue back in the day and thought they were kind of funny. I never gave it a chance because I'm not into Halo. I wasn't into Halo either, but yeah, I think it started coming out when I was in high school at one point, and I was friends with a lot of guys in the grade below me, and they were all into it and quoting it, and I didn't know what they were talking about for the longest time. I don't think I actually got into it until university. Oh, I've seen the model in the Animes library. Oh, wonderful. Yes, it did look cute. I think I saw it on some VTuber news quite a while ago. Don't actually watch too many VTubers, but I do try to stay on top of VTuber news just so I know what's going on. Be right back. Okay, I'll wait for you to get back until I start reading the stories. I'll wait for you to get back. Oh, dearie me. The chat latency is definitely better than it normally is. Is the picture really terrible, or is it okay? Oh, it's strange that Red vs. Blue is more accurate and beloved than the Halo TV show. I have not seen any of the Halo TV show, to be quite honest with you. Oh, 3 likes now. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's, yes, what am I watching on TV at the moment? Nothing actually comes to mind. It's mostly just random YouTube videos. Oh, the picture's fine. I watched in 480p anyway. Okay, I'm glad to hear it. And since I think the chat latency is, less of a problem today than it normally is, I think I'll try to remember to do the streams in, I believe it was ultra low latency. Oh, 4 likes, thank you. Same, Blue, same. Glad to hear it. Thank you so much. I'm back now. Hey, Elfie, you are back. We'll start in just a second. I've just got one more thing to say. I'm sorry, I've been rambling for almost half an hour now. But hopefully everyone who wants to hear the stories is here. But picture is good. Thank you. Thank you. I finally, after putting it off for several months, it seems. Well, I've seen some clips from Halo and almost nothing about the game. Is there really a location called Reach City? I'm not sure, to be honest. The only places in Halo I really know are the ones that were mentioned in Red vs. Blue, like Sidewinder, because that's the cold quote that I and at least one of my siblings use frequently, because it's just, we almost communicate, 50% of our communication is movie and TV quotes. But yes, I finally made a Discord server. And it is probably terrible because I've never done anything like it before. But I did my best. And yes, it'll probably be a bit of a clunky process improving it and getting it working exactly how we like. But please join if you're interested. The main purpose of the server is really so all of you who like to watch these streams can chat outside of stream hours. I think that's the main reason I thought making it was a good idea. And yes, I'm not sure how often I'm going to be posting in it myself, because those of you who are in other Discord servers with me know that I am not very active, but I will do my best. Let's go. Yay. Well, I looked it up and I think they made up Reach City for the show. Okay. They're allowed to do that, I guess. Creative license. There's Discord now. Yes, there is also. Yay. Yeah, somehow I felt like it. Yay. It's yeah, I will try to get a little better at posting in Discord, but I feel making any promises along those lines would be wrong. But feel free to prod me as well. Prod me in Discord. And I will jump in. Just joined it. Yay. I'm so glad. And yes, I did put a link in the description if you would like to use it. You can't do more than your best. Thank you. But yes, if you have any thoughts or recommendations at all about the server or anything else, just join. Thank you. I think I made a channel for that. Just let me check. Yes, ideas and feedback. You can pop anything you like in there, and I will attempt to address it. Oh, goodness me. Yes, I'll figure out things like roles and other such things if people would like them at a different point. Oh dear, what did I put in there? So I've got the welcome and the notice board, ideas and feedback. As I start to release more of my stories and series, I'll add them to Blue's shelves there. But the community lounge is the most important spot. I think general is where most of the stuff will happen. Ooh, I will wave to everyone. Wave, and wave. So much waving. But yes, there's also a MacGuffins You Write section, so that's where you can, share ideas, whatever thoughts you've had for it, and you can probably just post links to the stories there, and that'll make sure I find it wherever you want to put it online. And what else is here? The Getting Creative, so any creative things you want to chat about in here, or chat about or share. We've got Seeking Critique, we've got talking about books, talking about film and TV, games and YouTube. If there's any other channels you'd like me to pop in there, let me know. Oh, that's going to be so easy, so much easier. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. It took me a while to figure out how things should work. But yes, sharing here is probably easiest. I also have a Blue is Writing section, and that's just, throw random things in there as I'm writing. Agreed. I'm glad it's going to be easier. And I'm sorry if I've made things difficult for you. It was never my intention, but still just learning how to do this. We'll get there. And yes, I called it the Library of Moons and Feathers because I couldn't help it. I thought it was funny. So yes, we will play with the Discord and see how things go. We'll see how things go. Okay, I've now been rambling for about half an hour. I think it's time to start reading. So I will get this up, and assuming I've set everything up correctly, let's do this. And I did set it up correctly. Hooray. Hooray. Okay. So the first story we'll be reading is by Ashley Rowan. Thank you so much, Ashley, for writing this. Excuse me. And it is called I Want to Be a Breathing Altered Woman. Should we start? Yes, we are starting. I'm sorry. It is nice to just chat again as well. You know, a month out of streaming. It is nice to be back. And I suppose I'm still just slightly surprised with myself at how much I am enjoying streaming. I mean, I've been planning to do it for so long, but I wasn't sure how much I would enjoy it given I am such, it feels weird to say antisocial, but very, very, very introverted. That'll do. All right, Alfie, let's see if it was worth it holding my drink for over 40 days. Alrighty. So Ashley's story is, I want to be a breathing altered woman. And let's read the synopsis. Welcome to the future, where your body can be changed with a single breath. An ideal is the new beautiful. Meet Marzana, a transgender woman incapable of experiencing either of those. One faithful meeting will change her outlook on life. Okay. Ooh, just want to check as well. You can hear me all right? It's, yes, I think my narrating voice goes slightly quieter, or at least when I'm trying to, what's the term, add dynamics? Is dynamics too musical a term? Probably not. Let's go to chapter 1. Yeah, all clear for me, thank you. Okay, chapter 1 of I Want to Be a Breathing Altered Woman by Ashley Rowan. A single bottle of my medicine costs $55.34, which is an ironic, useful, oh dear, can I pronounce this? Mnemotechnic. Sorry, I should know how to say that word, on how to take it. 50 milliliters of water, 5 milliliters of the medicine. Drink after letting it dissolve for 30 seconds. Repeat every 4 days. My first and only time I've used cosmetic nanities was when I was 14, and I made my hair black, like a crow. Right then, the problems with my lungs became obvious. Ooh, and just letting you know, I haven't read either of these yet, so it'll all be a surprise, all new for me as well as you, so let's read these together for the first time. I shower every day after I wake up. Washing my hair feels strange to me. I feel like it's the only part of me that's truly me. And at the same time, I feel the exact opposite. When I dry myself, I look in the mirror on the wall. I covered it with insulating tape. I simply could not stand seeing myself. Sometimes I wonder about removing the tape and peeking at my reflection, but I know I would regret it. Then I take a razor and shave my face. Eventually, I've managed to learn how to quickly do it so that my face would seem smooth. I can never leave the house if there's a single hair on my face. Because of that, I used to wake up very early and sleep too little. After that, I apply some makeup. Kind of to feel beautiful, and kind of to trick myself into thinking it will cover the evening regrowth. I just wish these would all cost a bit less, but with low demand came low supply and high prices. Sometimes I wonder how it would be like if I decided to get rid of my body hair as my first use of nanities, but I try not to. It never makes me feel good. That day, I was supposed to take the medicine. It was the last dose I had, so I put $55.34 in a side pocket in my wallet and made a note in my phone to buy more on the way back from work. I hate its flavour. It tastes like dark chocolate, cheap booze and licorice mixed together. And the fact that you need to add so much water only makes it worse. The last thing I do before going to work is packing a spare inhaler into my pocket, just in case of a surprise attack. Since the day nanite-based cosmetics were introduced to the world, the world has entered an era of beauty and expression. This miraculous technology allows people to transform their bodies into the embodiments of perfection. The streets were filled with imitators of Adonis and Aphrodite, all thanks to a bunch of microscopic robots programmed to transform the structure of the body. That's really cool. That's a great idea. I wonder if it'd be painful, though. Breathe in, wait a quarter of an hour, and your body can look as beautiful as you'd like. With careful usage, it was even possible to change something previously deemed impossible, like hair or eye colour. It was even possible to completely switch one's biological sex. But sometimes, very rarely, a person is born with a respiratory system that isn't able to deal with inanities. Something as small as changing your hair colour might develop into severe breathing difficulties. Bigger changes, like switching sex, can lead to instant death from asphyxiation. Doctors call it nanite-induced asphyxiation syndrome. Nowadays, there are methods to diagnose NIAS before anything dangerous can happen. But, of course, there weren't any when I started discovering how I wanted my body to be. I work as a copywriter in a small marketing agency in Old Town. I like this job. There are no harmful conditions for my body. And despite people hating ads in general, I feel proud of my creations. They feel that small part of my life I have control over. I could also work from home, but that would likely strip me of reasons to leave my house. "Oh, Miss Marzena, good to see you today," my shift manager greeted me. I like it when my co-workers use my chosen name. I realize not everybody in my situation is as lucky. "I suppose you have a project for me to take care of?" I said. "Yes, I thought you should be the best person for the job. The client wants to target people just like you. You know, the trans people." It was strange, hearing this. On one hand, it was nice that they assigned me something they thought I could do the best. On the other, I knew deep down that I wasn't the kind of client they would like to target. "I'll see what I can do," I said, because what else could I say? Send me the instructions. When I logged into my work mail, I saw the client's brief. It turned out some nanite cosmetics clinic was holding a promotion for the upcoming celebrations. Women's Day, Non-Binary People's Day, and Men's Day. A discount price for a sex-switching treatment. Every time I see a discount like that, I feel envious. Ooh. You want some tips about reading Polish names? The RZ is not the only strange sound you encounter. If you want to give me some tips, you can. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing things poorly. I will continue to do my best. Ooh. Every time I see a discount like that, I feel envious. I would like to undergo such treatment. If not for NIAS, I'd likely do it. I would likely be allowed to change the gender marker on my ID. But without the treatment, I will never be. I would like to be allowed to feel like a part of the trans crowd, but without the treatment, I will never be. I would like to be allowed to be seen as beautiful, but without the treatment, I will never be. I would like to be understood and that people would stop looking at me as a wacko, but without the treatment, I will never be. I did a few headbangs to calm myself down. I find them a nice coping mechanism. Sudden enough to actually feel it, but not going into self-harm territory. I placed my fingers on the keyboard and focused on finding a perfect slogan. starting with a slogan that helps me cement the tone in which I write the rest. Okay, so the RZ, there are 3 different ways of reading this depending on the phonological context, but the only one you need to remember for this is a retroflex je. Okay, so give me a moment, sorry. Marjana? Is Marjana closer? I hope so. Marjana. Ms. Marjana. Okay. Where are we? Here we are. Why always a vowel? Sounds almost like the Japanese u, but bring your tongue close to the e. Give me a sec. U. Oh, hopefully that's close. Oh, here we are. Oh, they're doing the promotion for the gender days, huh? I thought. I wrote the first thing I came up with. Celebrate whatever you want. And that's not good, I thought, but it's nice for the beginning. Let's extrapolate from there. The SI, where there's a vowel after that, it's always a palatal sh. That's all you'll need. Okay, I'll do my best. Definitely draw my attention to things if I'm slipping into poor pronunciation. I will do my best. Oh, let's extrapolate from there. Celebrate however you want. Closer, but not yet. Celebrate however. Celebrate whichever way. Celebrate your way. Celebrate yourself. Let's stop at that. Indeed, it was a slogan that sounded like it was aimed at me, even if it really was not. I started reading more into what the client wanted from me. It looked like the day would be full of work. When I encounter LGBTQ plus representations, I feel so behind with such thing in my writing until I think a bit harder and realize how many Aero and or Ace characters I have. Yes, as a fellow Aero Ace, I do appreciate that very much. It's yes, I too have an awful lot of characters who are either Aero Ace or one or the other. I suppose, yeah, a lot of my main characters wound up being on the Ace spectrum because I am. I mean, I know it's important to write characters that aren't like you as well as ones that are like you, but yeah, I think it probably happened initially because I didn't realize I was Aero Ace until I was about 25, and most of my stories, the beginnings of them, predate that. And so the characters were who they were already. Okay, let us keep going. The clock struck 16 and my shift ended. I was going to the pharmacy to buy my medicine. As I walked through the city, I felt gazes of people on me. They saw my imperfect face, full of microscopic wrinkles, facial hair that had just started growing back, and scars from early failed attempts to shave. And through them, they saw my NIAS, my anomaly. The fact that I was going to the pharmacy didn't help. Anyone that could fix it through nanites would go directly to the clinic, either out of their own intention or peer pressure. Just a few steps away from the pharmacy, I noticed a sudden commotion. A crowd of people panicking. Some making rushed phone calls, some dashing to the pharmacy, some just standing still and watching. And in the middle, there was a person, coughing and struggling to breathe. They did not look like the people in the crowd. They looked almost like me. I took the inhaler out of my pocket and stepped into the crowd. I wasn't panicked because I felt I knew what was going on. NIAS, I said as I gave them the breath-giving box. They quickly tore it out of my hand and took a few clicks. They took deep breaths to put their lungs back into proper pace. "Thank you," they said with a low feminine voice. "Next time I should buy more before I run out." "Were you going to the pharmacy too?" I asked them. "Yeah, as you can see, I almost made it." They gave me their hand. Okay. You can call me Boris. Is that right? Boris? Sorry, just checking the notes and seeing if I've said anything close. Oh, don't worry, it's a strange topic for me too, because Poland is not the most rainbow welcoming country, but I digress. One of the characters from my main project is also trans, but you'll never guess it unless you decode. Oh, Blakari. Sorry. Blahakal is a stand-in for Blahij. Almost great, but just the plain S is just the S. Okay, sorry. Boris. Marjana. That's an interesting name. I could say the same about yours. I couldn't deny it sounded weird to me, such a masculine name, contrasted with Boris's feminine voice. For some reason, I couldn't stop thinking about it on our way to the pharmacy. You go first, Boris said when we stepped inside. I would have been done if it wasn't for you. No, go first. You need clickies and I need the juice. I like the NIAS slang. Sometimes I wonder why it exists. Do we need funny words to make our lives more bearable? Or do we just simply do it to feel more like a community? Thanks. I actually came for it too, you know, said Boris. I should take some tomorrow. I wanted to say something about how he did not come to buy more medicine as soon as he ran out, but he was already talking with the cashier. I would like to buy more medicine from my prescription. ID number. Boris checked his ID card and recited the number. And the receipt number, miss. I knew there was something about Boris, and at that moment I felt it confirmed. I quickly bought my medicine in the other window. Boris had to buy inhalers, but he still left a moment before me. I put 5534 on the register, thanked for the medicine, and ran after him. Wait, I shouted. Boris turned on his heel. What is it? I just want to ask you one thing. Don't answer if you don't want to. I felt that Boris was like me, trapped in a wrong sex without the ability to change his body. Are you trans? Boris smiled. Guilty as charged, he said. And I suppose your next line will be, me too. How'd you know? You just told me. I don't believe in destiny, but that moment was the closest to making me a believer. I never thought I'd meet someone like me, I told Boris. A trans person with NIAS. Must be good karma, he said. Save one, meet one. Can we see each other again? Of course. How does tomorrow afternoon sound? That night I was so excited about the upcoming meeting that I had trouble falling asleep. Even hugging Carl the plush shark didn't help much. Oh, this is lovely so far. Let's go on to the next chapter. Here we are, chapter 2. We met in a nice cafe Boris recommended. It was optimized for guests with NIAS. Sorry, I keep blurring the acronym into a word, and hopefully I'm still understandable. It was optimized for guests with NIAS, with preserving an artsy atmosphere. Artificial flowers in empty pots, oil paintings behind hermetic glass cases. Paint changed every year, so it does start chipping. And it was overall really cozy. Boris was already waiting for me and drinking an espresso. I ordered myself some hot chocolate and sat with him. Hiya, said Boris. Hi. So, what is it that made you want to gather today? I think I simply wanted to talk to someone like me. Boris seemed to immediately get what I meant. Tell me about it. Looking for such people is so hard, like looking for a needle in a haystack. Don't you feel distance from the community because of that? I stopped reading social media long ago. Makes you know what's going on in the world. That's one way to look at it, I guess. The waitress came to our table with my chocolate. Now, I want to ask you a question. You don't have to answer, said Boris. What is it? I asked. What was it that you changed? NIAS doesn't activate until you change something. It wasn't hard to see why Boris told me I don't have to answer him. The question about the body part we've modified is very personal, and not everybody would like to be asked about that. I had no problem with telling him, but I was an exception. My hair. Interesting. For me it was the eyes, said Boris, pointing at his green retinas. Do you like them? I asked. I don't think about them that much. Do you like your hair? Not really. Do you hate them? I don't think it can be explained as simply as liking or hating. I see. Well, the world overall is complicated. It's okay if you can't name a certain thing. This talk about our changes felt strange. I felt glad for what I did, but also felt sad that I can't do more. I took a great sip of my chocolate and fell silent. What's the matter, Marjana? Asked Boris. Just some intrusive thoughts, I said. I just want to be a breathing, altered woman, living her life without fear of deadly cough from pollen. And I feel that's too much to ask of my body. Boris started gathering espresso leftovers from his cup with a wafer tube. Sometimes life just has a cruel sense of humour, he said. I shed a tear. You're the first person to ever not tell me to just alter my body. Quick judges, huh? Not even listening to the whole story. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's my throat that shuts before I tell it. Well, excuse me, but I'm not educated enough to be the judge of that. And what about you? How do you feel about not being able to change? Boris was playing with the wafer in his mouth, pretending to smoke a cigarette. I don't think about it. What? How? No, that did not sound right. It's more of redirecting my frustrations into something else. So you do think about it? Yeah, I guess so. And do you think I could find something like that? Of course, sooner or later. From an outside ear, our conversation must have felt awkward. But for me, it was a true moment of comfort and bonding. I never thought I'd need it so much before I actually experienced it. I couldn't sleep that night. It was one of those moments when you lay in your bed with no light on and near silence behind the window. One of those moments when intrusive thoughts find the best opportunity to invade your mind. So I stayed up on my phone longer than I should. I was scrolling through Roll-It and browsing transgender-related sub-rolls. I love Roll-It and sub-rolls. I spend way too much time trying to think of alternate names for social medias in the various worlds that I create. I think my equivalent for Reddit in my main magical project is Scrollophile. Scrolling through memes, reading life stories, and getting envious at before and after photos. I was happy for all the posters, but it wasn't that good for me. I had nothing better to do anyway. I was about to stop and simply try to fall asleep when I noticed an interesting post. It was titled, "A Haiku About Change." Haiku, I thought, like one of those short poems that don't rhyme. I decided to read it and go to sleep. Breathing in new life, shedding your unwanted skin, embracing beauty. What a lovely description of the process, I thought. I love it. I'd love that. I put the phone away, hugged Carl, and tried to sleep. It was a long time until I did. And while I was waiting for it, I was constantly thinking about the haiku. I did envy the author for getting their change, but I was happy that they were so euphoric they decided to write a poem about the experience. It seems there is no unambiguous emotion one can feel about something that follows them the entire life. I felt I wanted to simply experience something that I could write a poem about. With that thought, I finally fell asleep, with Carl pressed against my chest. That is a lovely idea. You want to experience something that moves you to write a poem. That's quite beautiful. I woke up around 4 a.m. gasping for air. I dashed to my medication shelf and grabbed an inhaler. I removed the safety lid, put the nozzle in my mouth and started clicking. After a while I felt the suffocating feeling stopping. A few deep breaths, and I was back to normal. But I was worried. What could have caused this attack? I quickly spiraled into a cycle of accusing every possible reason. Dust. But I vacuumed the floor last evening. Pollen. But I always closed the window for the night. Smog. But the air quality forecast showed good quality for the whole week. Then my mind turned towards the only cause it could come up with. Carl, the plush shark. Oh no, Carl. Was it really possible that this adorable plushie could have caused my near death? Was it that dangerous? How could it do it? Should I get rid of it? Should I sell it? Maybe I could get some money. Carl is a popular plushie. Maybe it's just a coincidence and Carl is safe. But how would I know? It was really late into the night. I was also overloaded with emotions. There was no way I could sleep anymore. I thought of how I could fill the time before morning. Maybe I should try writing. I did want to try to write a poem, didn't I? Maybe I should try writing about what happened. That could be a fun way of processing emotions. I opened the text editing app on my phone and tried to write. It came to me with some difficulties, especially looking for rhymes. Well, that part became easier when I tried looking some up on the internet. I wrote, and just before my alarm clock went off, I finished. Carl, the plush shark, tried to kill me. I have got a story for a cup of tea. Carl, the plush shark, tried to kill me. Not with his teeth cutting through my flesh, nor his tail fin yeeting me to Bangladesh. With his body, which must have weighed tons, that pushed the breath out of my lungs. How could a simple embrace of friendship have almost turned into a death done cheap? Did he have a motive behind his assault? Or was it something in my body at fault? Will I be able to hug him once more? Or will my lungs run squished, empty and sore? I know only one thing without a thinking fee. Carl, the plush shark, tried to kill me. That's a very cute poem. Cute and sad, but cute. Cute, sad, cute. I read the poem once more. I really liked how it sounded. Kind of a doggerel, I thought, but I think I said what I wanted. Writing did seem pleasant. It helped me organize my mind and process my emotions of that sudden attack. It was getting kind of late, so I started preparing for work. And just before I left, I sent my poem to Boris. I was curious what he would think of it. He did send me a message during my lunch break. Sounds cool. So poetry is something you redirect your emotions into? It felt nice to hear it from him. I sent him a reply. That was my first poem, but it did seem nice. I had to really think about what I wanted to say and how to write it. I finished my sandwich and was just about to return to work when I got another message from Boris. Want to see how I do it? Let's meet on Saturday. And don't forget an inhaler. We met in a strange place. A large place, full of small hills covered by dust. People with NIAS aren't expected to meet each other in such places. I'm not even sure if they're supposed to. Maybe that's why Boris told me about the inhaler. He was standing next to the field wearing a strange mask. I saw that he got there on a motorbike, and on its steering bar there was another mask. Okay. ZNA now Zuzel. Okay. Took your time. Took you some time, huh? Boris greeted me. What is this place? I asked. Just a small bike park local ride enthusiasts made. Boris took the mask off the bike. Let me put this on you. It will protect you through the ride. I realized I knew this kind of mask. A giant goggle placed atop a filtering web. Is that a protective mask? I asked. You seem to know a thing or two, Boris said. Have you used one of these before? No, I never did anything I'd need a mask for. Why? With the risky stuff, I never know whether I can do it or I can't. Do I need a mask or not? I see. Don't worry for now. I can assure you that we can do what we're about to do. With a mask, but still. He put the mask on my face and got me through a sealing procedure. Then he sat on his motorbike. Speedway, he said. That's my life. You want to hop on? Curious, I sat on the bike and grabbed Boris for balance. Hold on tight, Boris said as the engine roared. The bike threw itself forward, leaving a large cloud of dust behind. We were almost jumping out of the seat on every bump and every hill. Boris pushed the steering bar into a drift on every corner. It was exhilarating and a bit frightening. But of course I was afraid of all the dust on the road and in the air. We rode through the lap and the engine stopped. The dust settled down. And only then I realized I did not feel suffocating. I did not need to cough at all. Boris looked at a watch on his wrist and smiled. 7 seconds above my personal best. Not bad for a first ride with a passenger, am I right? The experience was surreal to me. We actually can breathe. I can't believe it, I shouted. Boris tapped his finger against his mask. Pretty cool, huh? He said. It saved me from giving up on my dream. Your dream? I asked. I want to race in the championship, said Boris. I decided to sign up to the team when I shaved my time down to under 2 minutes. I'm racing against myself on this track every weekend after lunch. How much until you cross that time? Just a couple seconds more. But I don't think I'll do it this week. Anyway, I wish you success. Thank you. One more lap? Yes, please. All right, hold on. The sound of the engine was really soothing. Who would have thought there was a mask that allowed us to perform such dangerous tasks as racing through exhaust and dirt? I wondered why I'd never heard about them before. 3 laps later, Boris stopped the engine. Let's take a break, he said. You're not used to the mask. You're supposed to take breaks, I asked. Yeah. Funny how overusing protective gear can mess you up even worse. So it's not for everyday use? Nope, only sport and work. And you have to get used to it if you want to use it for a long time. And wash the filters now and then to get rid of the lingering dust. Then how are you going to race? Aren't the races long? 15 runs, 4 laps each, with short breaks in between. I think I'm used to the mask enough to take a break every 3, maybe 4 runs. Now the dust settled down. Take your mask off. You want a drink? We moved to a bench and Boris gave me a can of cola. I was thinking about our bodies. Maybe a poet awoke in me. Maybe a philosopher. Our bodies are like cocoons, I said. What? Boris said. Caterpillars risk dying in their cocoons, but they strive to become beautiful butterflies. Our bodies may kill us if we try to become beautiful, but we still strive to find our own beauty. Philosophizing, I see, said Boris. Don't you like the word cocoon? I asked. Boris thought for a while. I do, but if you want to call us that way, we would have to see whether or not we are the exceptions. Good point, I said. From that point, I was sure that we create slang to feel like a community. Well, this story sure is long, but long in a good way. Like, the story needs to be long to be done justice. I think you were right. Oh, I thought I patched the Marjana doesn't know about the mask's plot hole, but that one sentence slipped through my eyes. That's okay. Don't worry about that. This is wonderful so far. You've done such a fantastic job. I say it's wonderful so far. I know the entire thing's going to be wonderful. Thank you, Elfie. I'm glad you enjoy it. Yes. Yes, it's... Next chapter. Chapter 3. Oh, wow. 6 likes. Thank you so much. Well, I say thank you. I think most of the thanks should go to Ashley at this point. And then Elfie when we read theirs. Okay, chapter 3. One rainy evening, I was sitting bored in my living room. I had no energy nor inspiration to do something productive, so I was scrolling through streaming platforms trying to find something to watch. But of course it's difficult to decide when there's so many options. I know, it's... Oh dear. I think there's an actual scientific term for it, but I was watching something about it the other day, but I've completely forgotten. So I decided to watch something random. I closed my eyes, held the down arrow on the remote and counted to 10. Then I stopped scrolling and checked what the cursor stopped on. It was a movie called The Paper Bag Girl. The poster showed a girl wearing a blue hoodie and a grey paper bag. I played it without even reading the synopsis. Well, it's not what I expected, this story. No, that's generally a wonderful thing when things can surprise you in a good way. I have to say, the movie moved me. It was about a girl who always wore a paper bag. If anyone saw her face, the sight would have made them suffocate and even die. The story focused on her trying to live a normal life, while 2 warring shadow organizations were trying to capture her. They wanted to use her as an assassin, but she hated the power of her face and never wished to use it. She never wished to have it. She simply wanted to live in peace. An important theme in the movie was trying to live in the body you hate, yet cannot change. And it made me notice how little media there is about people like me. There are stories about transgender people, and there are stories about people with NIAS, but I couldn't recall a single story about a character who would fit both of these boxes. And The Paper Bag Girl managed to fit that hole despite being about neither. Well, the Netflix paradox, is that the name? I'm not sure. I think it was more the scientific term for that phenomenon that I'm thinking of, and I was just watching a video of it. It was this is frustrating me. Goodness me. It's no, it's gone. I'll probably think of it as soon as I stop streaming. Oh, where are we? Here we are. Soon after, I bought the book on which the movie was based. Seeing all the nuance lost in the 2-hour-long adaptation made me appreciate the story even more. I actually wanted to write a story like that. Something to make the reader feel better. The next day I got a message from Boris. 1:58. I'm going to talk with the team tomorrow. I knew what it meant, and I was happy for him. He has beaten his goal of 2 minutes. Speedway championships were getting closer. I wrote him back. That's great. I hope you get to ride soon. That day, on my way home from work, I happened to pass by a bookstore. In the window there was a magazine stand. There was a new issue of Rainbow News, the most popular magazine about gay and transgender life and pop culture in the country. Normally I don't buy it, but this time I saw an intriguing headline. Contest. Write a rainbow story, get featured in an anthology. I felt that I wanted to write something for the contest, so I bought the magazine to read more. The contest was fairly simple. Write a short story about a gay or transgender character, at least 2 pages, max 20. 5 winners will be featured in an anthology released by the Rainbow News publishing house. I knew I had to try. It was only when I came home when I realized I had no idea what I could write about. A few days later, I met Boris on my way to the pharmacy. Oh, hi. Nice to see you here, he said. You too. How's your career going? Wonderful, actually. I'm going to drive in an exhibition race this Saturday. Wow, that was fast. And how's your life going? Oh, there's this short story contest I want to write for. The one in Rainbow News. Yeah, how did you know? I read it from time to time. Choice paralysis. Yes. Thank you, NCO. Thank you. Choice paralysis. That's the one. Thank you so much. I feel so much better now. Oh, here we are. I was surprised. I wouldn't think of Boris reading such a magazine, but I guess people can surprise. What are you going to write about? Boris asked. I don't know yet. It's hard to come up with a good idea. Boris thought about my problem. And he actually found a solution. How about you write about yourself? What? I said. Write about a cocoon, about trans people with NIAS. That's something you in particular should write. It would be almost like writing about yourself. I was shocked that I hadn't thought about it earlier. That's actually an awesome idea. Well, I'm sure that's about every choice where there's too many options. Yes, I think you're right, but yes, does apply, I think, to the ridiculous amount of content that we have to try to choose between on things like YouTube and streaming platforms. And I think that's just why I never actually feel like watching anything. Oh, there we are. When I got home, I turned my computer on and opened the text editing program. First, the title, I said. I pressed some keys and wrote, I am a cocoon. For now, it's okay. I can always change it as I write. Oh, wait. Hello, Sune. This is when you stream. Yes, this is when I stream now. Yeah, I started streaming during the day for me, so I am awake and alert. But yes, I'm streaming on Mondays because this is one of the days the small one is at kindy. I usually suffer from the opposite thing, having too few options for it to be appealing. Yeah, I nearly missed you. That's okay. We're here. We've been going for about an hour, and we're reading one of our wonderful stories. This one's by Ashley Rowan, who you will see there in the chat. No, we've missed an interesting piece of lore. Yeah. So yes, welcome. It's so lovely to see you, Sune. Yes, we are reading this beautiful story by Ashley. And when we finish this one, we will move on to Elfie's story. Here we are. I pressed some keys and wrote, I am a cocoon. For now, it's okay. I can always change it as I write. And then I hit a wall. It's one thing to have an idea for your story, but you also have to know what exactly you want to write. I knew I wanted to write about someone like me. That was a good place to start. Now I simply had to find the rest of the story. For a moment, I thought I had a nice idea. What if I wrote a story about a journalist that would run interviews with people like me? But that would require her to go somewhere where there would be many of them. A hospital seemed like a good place. Wait, what if I flipped this idea on its head? It was perfect. Instead of a person from outside, let's write about a patient. And let's have her meet another patient just like her. And let's let them have some talks about life, identity, and beauty. The idea was ready. It was time to flesh it out and start writing. Day after day, it was easier for me to write. First day, a single paragraph. Next day, some more. Then more and more and more. Soon, I felt the need to write even during the breaks at work. I came to Boris's Saturday race. It wasn't what I expected, even though Boris did explain it to me. It was a series of short races. Boris called them runs, if I remember correctly. It was fun seeing Boris ride on his motorbike in his green team jacket. Some runs he did great, some he did not. I couldn't really grasp how scoring worked, so I was asking the spectator sitting next to me. The final run came and I asked him for the score. So, the green are winning? Can they still lose? Yes, if both the blue drivers come in the lead in this run. The signal went off and the run started. The first lap was chaotic. No one could stay in the lead for more than a few seconds. The second lap saw the green team taking the lead. They quickly dashed through the third lap and I was sure they were going to win, but halfway through the final lap, the blue team overtook them and claimed victory. It felt heartbreaking. I was rooting for Boris. We met after the race. Boris seemed more satisfied than I expected. It sucks to lose like that, doesn't it? I said. Actually, I think I did way better than I expected, said Boris. You lost by a very small margin. Still kind of disappointing. Next time we'll do better. Well, let's just say there's a reason why Blue decided to switch to day streams. I won't spoil it if she doesn't want it. She said it in the Spill the Cola stream. Well, if you like, you can go and hunt for it. But I can always tell you now if you like, Sune. Just let me know. Oh, hello, Rimitsu Ren. Oh, so lovely to see you. So lovely to see you. We are reading beautiful stories that were inspired by a brainstorming stream we did a few weeks ago. Well, we haven't decided when the next brainstorming stream is. Should we just go for it next week, or should we have a week break and do something else next week? Oh, look, hi, a new person on chat. It is lovely to see you, Rimitsu Ren. So lovely. I hope you enjoy the stories. Here we are. I was near the end of writing. I was going back home from work. I was missing about 2 pages. I couldn't wait to get home and get to work. The forecast said there was some pollen and smog to be expected in the city today, but still a safe amount for me. Oh no, this feels ominous. This feels ominous. Oh dear, this isn't going to go well, is it? This really is relaxing, putting my laundry away while listening to these stories. That does sound lovely. Well, as lovely as laundry can be. Laundry can actually be relaxing sometimes. Honestly, when I'm really frustrated or really quite angry and I can't really find any way to express it, I generally clean. I think that helps. You know, throwing negative things into something, you know, constructive. Yes, next week, please. Okay. Oh, my backlog is going to hurt, but I too vote for next week. Well, we can always, you know, especially since I'm just streaming the once a week, now we can always stretch it out a bit longer and have it a bit longer than a month again between the brainstorming stream and the reading stream. Yeah, maybe next week we can decide how long we want to wait. And I say, you know, especially because it's just the one stream a week now, because you know, I can only do one thing a week. I have been thinking I might do more gaming than I initially meant, because, you know, pretty soon it's, yeah, gonna get a bit more difficult for me to focus on organizing writing related streams. But yes, I did come up with some ideas for other things we can do. The one I particularly like, it's a little along the lines of the brainstorming streams, but different enough that I think it can stand on its own. Oh, I do something creative to decrease my anger or sadness. That's a good way to do it. That is a good way to do it. I'm not sure why I started the cleaning. Particularly washing up, hand washing up. It's just getting it all out. Okay, but yes, I'm getting worried. This is ominous. The forecast said there was some pollen and smog to be expected in the city today, but still a safe amount for me. When I was passing near a bus stop, my shoes got untied. I sat under the shelter to tie them. Suddenly, I felt an awful smell, like if something was burning. Momentarily, I felt difficulties breathing, as if my throat was constricting. I looked up to find the source. I noticed a man smoking a cigarette. I quickly grabbed my inhaler and took a click after click, but then I saw darkness. At the hospital, they told me that my problems could have gotten worse. I needed to increase the dose of medicine. I needed to take leave from work. I needed to rest. When at home, I felt awful. I felt fragile. I felt useless. Was my NIS getting worse? Was I actually getting weaker? Did I do something that could have caused it? What could it be? Was I getting close to the limit of my life? How much time was there left for me? Meanwhile, me writing my frustrations into the story. Oh dear. Well, you have written it so beautifully. You have. This is a lovely story. I had no energy to do anything. I fell into bed and tried to cry my anxieties away. Never before have I felt my life running away so quickly. I doubted there was any sense in going on. With that feeling, I fell asleep. Next day, I woke up feeling numb. For the first time, I had to prepare my medicine out of 7 milliliters of the substance and 70 of water. I was trying to find a way to remember this proportion. Nothing came to my mind, so I simply wrote it on the bottle with a marker. Oh, I could have seen that. Thank you all. In my phone, I found a message from Boris. "Hi, how are you feeling today?" I wrote a quick reply. The breathe out caught me. I feel awful. I'd prefer not to talk about it. Breathe out is the heaviest word in NIS slang. Loss of consciousness due to breathing problems. Distressing to hear. Are you feeling all right today, at least? Yes, but I won't be back to work for quite some time. Get well soon. We haven't sent each other any more messages that day. I was scrolling through my flat. Strolling. I was strolling through my flat, trying to find anything to kill time. Nothing seemed quite right. Nothing seemed like pleasure. And then I noticed Rainbow News on my desk. I thought about the story I was writing. I remembered I've almost finished. Maybe I could try writing further? All right, I thought. It's not like I have anything better to do today. It was a slow process, but it made me feel better. It was a good way to keep my mind free of what happened. Soon, my story was finished. I was overjoyed. Once again, I felt that I could do something. I felt that Boris was right, that I should have written that story. It turned out to be a lot more personal than I expected. I sent the story and waited for the results. Next month, I bought the new issue of Rainbow News. It came in a plastic foil. It was thick. Inside there was an anthology of the winning works. I didn't even wait to get home. I opened the magazine in front of the store and looked for the page with the contest results. Oh, apologies if I pronounced this name wrong. Let's go. The winning work was written by Jessin. I congratulated them in my mind. I decided to read their story when I got home. I'm really enjoying this so far. Me too, Reaper. It is wonderful. I couldn't see my story in second place either. Nor third, nor fourth, nor fifth. It was a bit sad not to see my name among the winners. But I was happy for them indeed. I was about to close the magazine when I saw one more name. Distinction. I Am a Cocoon by Marjana Iskra, for telling a story about an important matter that we do not notice in everyday life. I couldn't believe my eyes. I took the book out of the foil and opened the table of contents. And on the bottom I found, I am a cocoon. I found my name. I found my story. I felt euphoria like I've never felt in my life. I called Boris. He answered after the third signal. Hi, Marjana. Nice to hear you, he said. I won. I couldn't hide my joy. I've got a distinction. Wow, that's great to hear. Boris did not sound as enthusiastic as me, but I could hear his compersion. I have to read it then, Boris said. I just bought the new issue. I can borrow you the book. I'd be honoured. Very good so far. I think so too. The day after Boris borrowed the book, he wrote me a message. Just finished reading. I loved your story. It was strong. It does seem like you've put a lot of yourself into it. I felt happy about his compliment. I asked him a question. Do you think I can make people feel better with my writing? In an instant, Boris replied, Yes, I am sure of that. I love the Polish adjective last names. You want yours to inflect to match your gender? Sure, just don't tell the official you're an NB. They don't like them. Oh dear. That's not great. No, I have heard that, yes, Poland seems to be trundling in a very right direction these days, as in right-left as opposed to right-correct. No, definitely not right-correct. Here we are. That's kind of sad. It is. It's not great. I realized this is what I needed to hear. I remembered everything that happened recently, all the best moments I've spent with Boris, all his tips, how a poem I've randomly found inspired me to try putting my feelings on paper, how I've decided I want to cheer people up, just like the story of the paper bag girl. Life is a never-ending series of surprises. I do love how you put the paper bag girl, having that coming straight from the brainstorming stream, and the rest of the story coming around it. I think that was a really cool idea. And I do kind of want to see that movie now. Oh, I have felt that I found the way I wanted my life to go. I found happiness. I found something that NIAS could never take from me. Next day after the shower, I looked into the mirror. It was covered with tape. I wanted to remove it. I slowly peeled the tape off piece by piece. I saw my face, bulky, manly, imperfect. I saw my hair that looked like something belonging to someone completely different. I did not like what I saw. But for the first time since my diagnosis, I was not bothered by it. Here we go, epilogue. Oh, fun fact, one jewellery shop in Poland made a sale for gays. Buy the engagement ring from us, and if same-sex marriage gets legalised in 10 years, you'll get your money back. Oh, wow. That inspired the Gender Weekend sale. Ooh, okay. Okay. Sounds like a reasonably cool jewellery shop. I'm glad they're there, at least. Okay, here's the epilogue. You only just posted the epilogue up, didn't you? You just finished it. I think when I looked up the story, it had been only up for 5 hours or so. A few years have passed since I've written the short story for the contest. Since then, I've been writing more and more, poetry and prose. My style and abilities have grown. and I was about to release my first novel on paper, The Girl Who Cursed the Moon. That's a pretty cool title as well. The story of a girl who wanted to become a witch, but every time she used her magic, it was destroying her body. Sometimes she got a simple nosebleed. Sometimes her heart stopped and she lost consciousness. I was happy to release something. I hoped for it to be read by someone who needed it. The law finally changed to allow people with NIAS to change their legal gender without modifying their bodies. I was one of the first people in my city who applied. I was reading a sports newspaper. In the Speedway section, they wrote about the world champion. Boris earned the bronze medal. It was a very happy moment. I was sure he could win the championship next year. I was content with my life. I have finally felt everything was right. And that was I Want to Be a Breathing Altered Woman by Ashley Rowan. And that was just beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for writing that and sharing it with us. Yes, much applause. Wow. That was reasonably amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And when I say reasonably amazing, I do mean amazing. I'm sorry. I have a bad habit of softening everything I say with, probablys and reasonablys and all of that. Yes. I don't do it so much in my writing anymore. I've managed to cut that out and make my writing a bit stronger, but I still do it in everyday conversation. This applause, I can tell you put a lot of effort into this. Yes, it is. It's full of heart, full of effort, full of everything a good story is full of. Okay. Thank you all. You are so welcome. Good job. I could vividly imagine the scenes in my head. I agree. Okay, I'm just going to have a quick drink of water, and then we shall move to Elfie's story. Oh dear. A side note, I hope you can't hear my stomach rumbling. I do still have the remnants of that bag of chips, but I don't think chips are very good food to eat in front of a microphone. And also, I don't really want to read a story and stream with bits of chips stuck in my teeth, because that's just something I don't want to do. Oh dear. Okay. I can't at least. Okay. Okay, here we are. We have An Ember Born of Rain by Elfie the Animator. Okay, let's have a look at the synopsis. Says has had a tough life, and after cursing an innocent child, he decided to right his wrongs. I did watch one of the streams that Elfie did as Astro to write this. Yes, for those of you who don't know, Elfie has started streaming. I hope it's okay. I hope you don't mind me saying this. Yes. Oh, sorry, I probably should have double checked first. But Elfie has started streaming under the name Astro. Is it Astro the Star Kid? And I did watch a lot of the second writing stream Elfie did for this story. Oh, Elfie, Astro, Elfie. And yes, it was a lovely stream. Elfie is very good at streaming, very good at keeping the ongoing commentary and keeping things going. Go on, thank you. Sorry, I still feel I should have checked properly. I just babbled too soon. But yes, if you look for Astro the Star Kid, you can find that's Elfie's streaming account. Elfie's done some writing streams on there, and I think you did do a gaming stream there too, didn't you? But yeah, so keep an eye on that, and if you ever want to watch Elfie Astro Elfie streaming, they are doing very well. Okay, let us jump into an Ember Born of Rain. An Ember Born of Rain by Elfie the Animator. Prologue. The wind blew, and the sky was clear, though far away dark clouds could be seen. The grass was surprisingly green for that time of year, and the nomads wandering the plain were happier than usual. One of these tribes wandering the plains was the Hersi. While most tribes were terrified of the flightless dragons roaming the plains with them, the Hersi took care of one. The dragon's name was Ses, and he wasn't bigger than a wolf and spoke very little. One night, the rain poured from the sky and lightning struck the land, so the Hersi took shelter in a cave beneath the tiny mountain cliffs towering above the plains. Small tip, don't write spaces when looking for Elfie streams. Okay, no spaces. Well, yes, and hopefully I will pronounce these names reasonably well. I did hear how most of them were pronounced during Elfie Astro's stream, but I'm worried I've forgotten. Here we are. Inside the cave were ancient cave paintings depicting several myths. They built up their tents in that cave and lit a campfire to witness the beauty of the paintings. But there was one flaw with putting up the tents and the campfire too. One person would need to be excluded. As the head of the tribe, Denier had to make the choice of who would have to leave. Based on the cave painting, the people who lived there were afraid of dragons. Not wanting to upset the dead, Denier chose to force Ses out. Ses unwillingly left the cave. He sat outside in the storm for at least an hour when he heard something soaring through the rain. It was an arrow shot from inside the cave by Denier. Well, could you try to pronounce the R's in the back of the mouth, like in French? Okay. Denier. No, sorry, that was awful. Denier. No, that just sounded like hardening the R's like an American accent. I'm sorry. Denier. No, that was way too far forward. I'm sorry. I will continue to do my best, and apologies if the pronunciation is far from perfect. Leave. No monsters shall bring us misfortune. The arrow hit Ses's back. In a fit of rage, Ses cursed Denier in that all with her blood in their veins shall cough fire at the sight of beauty, as a reminder of Denier's sins. After cursing her, Ses's scales were scattered to the wind, and the flesh and bones underneath were reformed to the ones of a human. Ses was horrified at the realization of what he had become, so he ran away, collecting his scattered scales along the way. He sewed together his scales, making armor to use as clothes. You in the same place as K or Q? Okay. As he sat there, he realized that he had cursed not just Denier, but also her newborn daughter, Dao. When he had that realization, he started to follow the Hersi to keep Dao safe. One day, when Denier was feeding Dao, her blindfold slipped, and the sight of Dao caused her to flare up, resulting in Denier's coughing fire on Dao. Luckily, she didn't catch on fire, in contrast to her mother, who breathed in the fire she spewed, lighting her insides on fire and dying on the spot. Oh, I was about to say these are not the same place, but I was thinking of IPA. Oh, hey Blue, now that I know when you stream, I'll set a reminder for it, but I kind of have to go right now. I have a drawing class right now and also have dance practice before going to bed. It's 2:40 a.m. Oh, goodness me, that is early. And and you have drawing class and dance practice before bed, and it's 2:40 a.m. as well. Goodness me. Wow, that's a lot to do at a time when maybe sleeping would be good too. I'm sorry if I'm streaming at a terrible time for you now. It's not the best time for a lot of people, I know. But yes, I think I am sleeping a little better at least, so hopefully the stream quality is better as well. It's fine. Okay. Oh dear. Well, I hope your drawing class and dance practice go very, very well. Dear, that is something more I need to do. I've been thinking more and more about when I'm going to be releasing my novels and how I really want them to have, theme songs. Like anime, because they're like anime. It's a good time for American viewers. It's 3 a.m. here, but it's fine. You do you. Oh dear. Yes, there will be the VODs as well if anyone can't make the live stream and they'd still like to see what's going on. I know VODs aren't really as fun, but they are there. They are there. They are an option. Oh dear. Yes, so need to start figuring out what I want to do for music, because I think that's sort of a fun thing to do, given I am a VTuber, and VTubers are very well known for singing and music, and I thought that would be a cool way to combine the writing and music. Well, Europe and Africa really get in the middle. You have time, others don't have time, and vice versa. Yes, it is difficult. It is difficult. I mean, I'm still considering now and then doing, random unscheduled streams with more gaming and traditional VTuber related stuff, and that would probably be at, the times I used to stream at. But yes, I haven't quite decided that yet. We shall see. We shall see. I mean, again, after all this life stuff sort of settles down a bit, maybe I'll be able to go back to streaming 2 or 3 times a week. But yes, we'll just have to see what happens. Okay. Sorry, Elfie, getting back to your story. Went off tangenting for a moment. 4 years after the storm, present day. In an animal skin tent, standing on a hill in the plains, sat Dao and says, "Night, thanks, Miss Blue. Night, Queen. Good night, Sune. It's been so lovely to see you again. So lovely to see you." Okay, so in an animal skin tent, standing on a hill in the plains, sat Dao and says, okay, so Dao would be a little girl here, so. "Says, why can't I take off my blindfold?" "Didn't your mother tell you?" "She did, but..." "Well, what did she say?" said as he moved closer to Dao. "She said that if I take my blindfold, I'll die. But is that true?" "Almost. It's almost true." "But says you need to tell me," Dao whined. "So you know what a curse is, right?" Dao nods. "Do you know what creatures inflict curses?" "Fire? No, it's disease, right?" Says, face palms. "Well, the answer is dragons. Dragons inflict curses." Dao looked bored. "Tangents are okay, thank you, Elfie." "What does this have to do with me having a blindfold?" "The reason you wear a blindfold is because of a curse." "But who would want to curse me? I haven't ever seen something, ever." "Well, the dragon didn't curse you, but your mother." "But how do you know that?" "Because I cursed your mother." "No, you can't. You're human. Or you feel, sound, and kind of smell human," Dao said, confused. "I am human now, but I wasn't always. I don't know why, but when I cursed your mother in self-defense, I lost my scales and turned human. But if you cursed my mother, why am I cursed? Dao asked. I made it so your mother's curse was passed down, but I strongly regret that. Cez turned away from Dao. But if you cursed me, why don't you just break it? Dao asked curiously. I'm human now. I'd need to turn back to a dragon to break it, but only another dragon would know how to do that. So I guess we should begin now, and hopefully you'll have your curse broken and I become a dragon again. Dao smiled. Cez led her outside the tent. Just sit down here, I need to pack up the tent. Oh, I love this. Oh, so they stink, got it. People stink. As Cez was packing down the tent, Dao's thoughts wandered away. Dao, I'm ready now. Let's get going. Cez took Dao's hand and they started to walk the plains. A few hours of wandering, they stumbled upon a dragon. The dragon was sleeping, or at least resting, next to a river. Excuse me, could you? The dragon slowly turned his head towards Cez. No, he said loudly in his deep, echoing voice. But I haven't told you what I wanted. I don't do favors, the dragon said, slowly, emphasizing every single word. Cez turned back in embarrassment, leaving with Dao holding his skinny hand. As they approached the coast of the inland sea, Cez spotted some ruins. The ruins were made of clay bricks and sticks. As they walked closer and closer to the entrance to the old and abandoned building, some shiny things caught Cez's attention. A hoard of blades and other metallic weapons was laying on the ground beneath a muted brownish-green dragon. The dragon was missing some scales near one of its claws. Cez knocked on the wall of the ruin. Hello, hope I don't interrupt you. I'm Cez. Hi, it's so nice to meet you, Cez. I'm Ra. It makes me so happy that you came here. I don't get visitors because of being unfairly exiled from my family, said the dragon with excitement in her high-pitched voice. Oh, what a sweetheart. What a sweetheart. I love your hospitality. Thanks for letting us in. So, I got to ask you something. If I once was a dragon, but became human after inflicting a curse, how do I turn back? Cez asked sincerely. Unfortunately, the only way is through homicide. You need to rid yourself of your humanity, and the only known way is via inhuman deeds. Though one known to work is murder of another human. All three sat in silence. Oh dear. If I need to kill someone, who would deserve to die? Cez asked with a never-before-seen hint of violence in his eyes. Oh dear. Cez. No one deserves to die by murder. Nature will take their souls when it's their time to go, the dragon said somewhat woefully. Cez thought for a while. If he needs to kill somebody, is killing somebody to put them out of their misery the best alternative? He came to the conclusion that it was. Dao, come, we're going to break your curse. Dao smiled intensely, but not to an absurd degree. They walked for almost 2 days, but when they arrived in the capital, also known as Vekhejo? I'm afraid of where this is going. Yeah, I'm sort of getting that feeling too. Vekhejo. I hope I'm pronouncing that all right, sorry. Cez and Dao walked to a window leading to to the patient room in the healing house. Using a sword he borrowed from the dragon's hoard, says crushed the window and stabbed one of the people there right through the heart. Oh, goodness me. Luckily, Dao was waiting on the ground, not knowing what was happening. Says returned quickly to Dao. As soon as he got there, he felt his scales slowly returning. He took off his backpack and put Dao on his back. Soon after, Says had completely returned to his dragon self. They ran through the streets of Vekejo. When they had returned to the plains, Says said, "It's an IPA." Okay, Vekejo. Yes, I am not hugely skilled at IPA. I do my best. So something like Vekeko. Okay, Vekeko. Thank you, sorry. Vekeko. Dao, I hereby declare your curse broken. A bright orange glow moved away from Dao to Sez's claw and then faded out. Sez took off her blindfold and Dao smiled more than she's ever done before. She was so happy she couldn't speak, only scream of joy. The end. Thank you so much for your story, Elfie. Thank you. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yes, it's unfortunate that that was the only way the curse could be broken. Oh, and that's why I hate writing the lock frictive as KH. It's... Yes, when I'm getting into some of my other stories and I'm going to be doing an awful lot more conlanging, yes, I have a feeling I'm going to be getting more frustrated with things like that. Okay, so thank you so much to Ashley and Elfie for those beautiful stories. Thank you for working so hard on them. Here we are. Let's bring back up here. So, next week we wanted to do another brainstorming stream, and I think we decided the next one was going to be inconvenient curses. So I think the technical term for that is jinxes. Maybe, but I really like inconvenient curses. And so hopefully that can be a slightly more cheerful brainstorming session and we won't go down too many dark holes during that one. This was so awesome. I was on the edge of my seat. Indeed. I have a whole language for the Hersey. Yes, I think, yes, during your writing stream, yes, you had some of that up during there. It's so amazing. I still, not being a hardcore world builder myself, I'm just in awe of all these languages that all of you create. And not just languages, just the depths of all of your worlds is just amazing. I don't mind that I'm not a hardcore world builder. I don't mind. But, definitely do have to go deeper into some aspects. I can't do all of it, otherwise I would never ever get to the stories. And for me, yes, the stories and characters. I like having my world sort of, I think I've said quite a few times now, having the world sort of build around them as we go, I guess. It would be nice to one day make introduction videos to our conlangs. That would be wonderful. For example, Sez means doe, Denia means hunter, and last but not least, Dao means flower. Oh, lovely. Lovely names. Oh yes, Sez for dough, like bread dough, so bread or lunch or dinner or something. Vekeko means the one capital. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I remember my story cycle that I may or may not, haven't yet decided fully, be sharing as Blue Moony. The original language that I used was pretty much just taken straight from Japanese because I'd never really thought about building languages before, and the story was very Japanese inspired. I came up with the first few while I was living there. And I wanted all of the major cities to have sort of the similar sounding names, and so I just called them all, Oshi Daiichi, Oshi Daini, Oshi Daisan for the cities. So just the Oshi cities are the big ones. Ooh, something speaks to me about naming the girl Flower. It's so sweet. What about Ra? Yes, do you remember what Ra meant for the chirpy dragon? I love the chirpy dragon. I think they're my favorite character. Well, I still need to work on more words for my conlangs, that and the names for characters, because I'm somewhat bad at that. I doubt you're bad at it, given all the work you put into it and all the work and thought and effort. It's just, from someone who does not know nearly the extent of this, conlanging is a lot. It is a lot. Oh dear, we've been going for almost 2 hours. If people want to hang out for a little while longer, I didn't actually manage to write or finish anything for this, but I did take a few notes. Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh no, you are so very welcome and deserving of this praise, as are all of you. You work so hard on these, and it's just amazing. I suppose I get hit with a feeling a lot that I'm lazy. I mean, I hope I'm not, but I get so little done. And I know I have low energy levels, and I know I have a lot going on life-wise, but I still feel lazy. Like I could be getting more done. I feel that, and it's frustrating. Can't find the meaning behind Ra. That's okay. Nice way of coining new words and translating means. I'll have to one day translate. My hovercraft is full of eels. Indeed. And then the Wikipedia article on the Bhutanese passports. Okay. That's not one I've heard. People put that Wikipedia article into their conlangs. That's kind of cool. I haven't heard of that before. Okay. Well, if you can forgive me, I'm just going to jump and go to the bathroom, if you don't mind, and then I'll come back and we can just have a pick at my story idea together for this. We won't come up with anything finished, but I can at least show you sort of where it's going and what I was thinking. And then hopefully at one point, not too far in the future, I'll just finish it up on my own. Like, I'll hopefully finish up the one I did for the last MacGuffins You Write stream, what was it? The dialogue only, the script style one I wrote, which ended in a pun. I do want to write that properly as a short story and do the same for this one. In any case, ooh, just let me catch up here. Hey, Elfie, that's actually a great opportunity to find its meaning. Indeed. Ooh, exciting. Well, I need to check the article and go into the in popular culture section, especially the sound file. Oh, okay. Okay. So, I'm just going to do this. Oh, do this. And do this. Here we are in Pro Writing Aid again, because it's a very convenient word processor when doing these things. But now I'm just going to jump away for just very, very briefly. I shall be right back, sorry. I am back now. Hello. Back we go. Okay, I'll just catch up with chat, sorry. So, long story short, some troll read it into a racist, funny way. Oh dear, and the mods had a long debate of whether or not to replace it. I tried to translate the Tower of Babel, but I couldn't find this in the ebook, so I gave up. Okay. And I did turn my mic back on, didn't I? Yes. And by so racist it's funny, I of course mean laughing at how the guy thought it was a good idea to begin with. Yes, it's... Oh dear. Yeah, I'm probably just really naive, but I just don't understand how people can even think like that. Well, I'm not just naive, I'm very naive and very sheltered, so I don't understand how people can think like that. Oh dear. Okay. Okay. Quick drink. Mask of internet anonymity. Yes, I think people use that to feel like they can get away with a lot, don't they? That mask has a lot to answer for. Okay. Well, for the rough outline of this story that I'll be writing, that is inspired by the same brainstorming stream that those stories were, is I came up with some random ending lines and started trying to pull together a story to lead up to them. Oh, Blue, you need to tell me how to mute my mic in Prism Live. I can't figure it out. It's quite noticeable in my starting soon screen. Oh, just the little speaker-like button underneath your mic in the audio mixer. You see where you've got the volume, the sliding volume control right next to it. There's this, and I'll just click it now, and you're talking again. But yes, if you just click that, so it gets the line through it, crossing it out, it'll be muted, and then you just got to remember to unmute when you start. I frequently have concerns that I will forget to unmute. Well, it's that easy, thanks. You are so very welcome. I did watch quite a few tutorials for Prism when I was first getting started, but only the very basic sort of stuff. Well, that was a silent jump scare if I ever heard one. Sorry about that. Yes, I haven't worked out the intricacies of Prism yet, but hopefully if there's anything interesting in there or useful that I haven't discovered yet, I will soon find it out. In any case, these are the ending lines that I thought of for this story, which is I'll probably wind up altering, but my keyboard's being strange these days. Really just shows even more. I need to get a new one, and then we can do a celebratory typing stream. So those are the kind of lines I want to finish with. My greying vision twitches upon my downfall. So this is beauty. So let's just bring that down here. And so I had the idea of this being someone afflicted with the seeing beauty will suffocate, curse, or sickness. I think I was going with sickness here. But I guess they've never really recognized beauty before, or they don't think that they find anything beautiful, or they never have to this point. And so, you know, even though they catch it, they're not showing any symptoms. But then, you know, in the end, something will get them. Ooh, I need to go to sleep, but it's getting bright outside. What should I do? Oh dear. Do you have any of those eye masks? Can you put on an eye mask? Or, oh, it's not too warm there now to just completely cover your head with a blanket. Or, ooh, sometimes when I need it to be really dark, I just hang a blanket over the window. No eye mask. Is it a blanket over the window an option? Sorry, I'm not sure. Not sure of anything else. Yes, I'm sorry. Blanket over the window is probably the best suggestion I can give. Okay, so... And this story will probably... I like the idea that this person was infected fairly early on with this sickness when it started being a thing. And, you know, they're infected and there's evidence that the sickness, whatever it is, infection, is inside of them, but they're not showing any symptoms because they don't find anything beautiful. Oh, I could just close the door, but it's messy behind it. Oh dear. But, yes. And so I think it's believed they're sort of, well, not immune because it's shown that they have it. It just doesn't affect them. But it's got to be a short story, so I can only sort of dance over all of this. So I'm just going to get down a few quick ideas and then we'll probably call it a stream. So, and I was thinking as well, if it's a sickness sort of thing and it's just sort of shown up and there's only finding out bits and pieces as we go. And so finding out, I think I wanted it to only affect the people's dominant sense. So if vision is your dominant sense, it's when you see something that's beautiful. If hearing is your dominant sense, it's when you hear it. So it affects people differently. But I'm not sure to what extent. Like, I wondered if the only thing that would affect you is, you know, whatever's most beautiful to you at that moment sort of thing. So that would be, you know, lots of partners, lots of parents and children, and maybe slightly less with the landscapes and beautiful paintings and poetry and stuff. But, yeah, and I don't think the detail is too important in this, given it's going to be a very short story. So, I was going to start with how they caught it, which... bartending. I'm probably using words incorrectly here, but... I was slinging drinks at some private dinner function when I caught it. Yeah, some of the language in this might harken back a bit to 2020 a little, so hopefully that doesn't upset anyone too much. I was slinging drinks at some private dinner function when I caught it. I'll go to sleep now before it gets too bright. Bye. Bye, Elfie. Thank you so much again for your story. We appreciate it and you so much. It was lovely to read. I hope you get some wonderful sleep. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I think you're good. Okay. Okay, thank you. You just don't like me doing this, do you? I'll leave it as one of the guests for now. I shouldn't try to edit this as I go because I'm just throwing it down. It's really mean, isn't it? I was slinging drinks at some private dinner function when I caught it. One of the guests was a close contact with the first kid who died. I heard the guy laughing about it. Some teen choked to death trying to confess his love to his first crush. Dear. Never been in that situation myself. I'm glad of it. It should be... It's kept me alive this long, yeah. Still, I felt pretty crummy for the kid. That's no way to die. This voice is starting to sound quite Kaz. Yeah, slipping into it a little bit because I write him more than anyone else. But well, this doesn't apply to Kaz at all. Kaz definitely appreciates beauty. But I think it's okay if the voice is a little similar, particularly because I'm just throwing down the ideas now. Oh, I was slinging drinks at some private dinner function when I caught it. One of the guests was a close contact with the first kid who died. I heard the guy laughing about it. Some teen choked to death trying to confess his love to his first crush. Never been in that situation myself, and glad of it. It's kept me alive this long, yeah. Still, I felt pretty crummy for the kid. That's no way to die. Anyway, I caught it. Everyone did. The whole function. Then the city, the country, the entire... Well, I don't want entire there. No, I know I used whole right there, but whole sounds better in this voice. Whole goddamn world. Okay. Oh dear, I don't know how much more I'm going to be able to pull together right now. Let's just write down some ideas. I don't think I'll do whatever's most beautiful in the moment, but just, I think it's got to be more intense than, oh, that's pretty. It's got to be actual beauty that moves you, I think. I like the way you write internal dialogue. Thank you. It's something I've been working on for a long time now. Yes, even though my main magical project is in close third and not in first person, it still sounds pretty much like this. And the prose it's in the style of Kaz's internal dialogue and such. So yeah, so I'll just sort of nope. You here. Skate over details of disease while following main character through some mundane moments. You know, where main character was when such and such was discovered. Oh dear. Sorry, I just... I don't think I quite have it in me to try to write more of it properly. But we'll at least get as many details down as we can. At least got the beginning. I quite like that. And the end. I'm not sure what it is that will bring this person down. Okay. Your main character's system, but unaffected. Asked to come in. I do want it to be asked to come in at this point, as opposed to, you know, taken in by the military for study sort of thing. Come in to investigate why showing no symptoms. You know, I could have told them. It took a month of needles, etc. Still don't really want to say outright, you know, doesn't find anything beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Outright, but, you know, heavy hints. Make it obvious, just don't say it, I guess. Okay. Back out. Watching the world slowly fall apart as try to adapt to new situation. Various means of avoiding it, you know. Blindfolds, earplugs, etc. Treatments. I think we'll have, you know, treatments that work on the small stuff, but big stuff, dangerous. Example maybe of an entire tour group, you know, being hospitalized on a mountain, needing to be I still like the idea of, you know, the vistas or views being so lovely that it does affect you, it moves you that much. Okay. Have the main character, you know, start to wonder if one day will be the only person left. What would their reaction to that be? Well, just because there's someone who can't experience or can't appreciate or experience beauty as such doesn't mean they don't experience love and loss and everything. So maybe a conversation with a friend. Well, you know, a friend who's not very nice. Well, it could also be, you know, the main character just isn't moved by beauty. They could still appreciate it, they're just not sort of moved by it. You know. So, I think it'd be good if something really simple is main character's downfall. Using downfall makes them sound almost evil, but they're definitely not. It's just is fact. This is my downfall. I mean, I was thinking initially something simple like a cat video or something, but yeah, maybe not that. Something really simple that you can see either for the first time or sort of with new eyes, for the first time, that can really, really move you with its beauty. It's, oh dear. I suppose it'd be easier if it was something that this person hasn't seen before, unless there's sort of unless we brush over an event here, sort of, that would mean they are suddenly moved by this thing. Susceptible. Yeah, that's not right. It's spelled so badly it doesn't even have the appropriate corrections there. Susceptible. However I spell susceptible. Is that right? Did I do it? I think I spelled it correctly, somehow. Well, I think so. I think it's right. Okay. So I'm not sold on this yet, but maybe I can go over an event that suddenly makes the main character susceptible to a particular beautiful thing. I'm also not the best at spelling. Yeah, I think that's a potential. I mean, I don't know how long I'd be able to drag it out for a stream, but words Blue can't spell. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Given my job used to be typing, I used to keep a list in the corner of my screen of all the words that I can't spell that tend to pop up a fair amount. Oh dear, and yes, Lieutenant, it was the worst one for me, and I just couldn't understand why I couldn't spell it, given I wrote it so many times in my main magical project. It's like Lieutenant every other page, but I still couldn't spell it. That sounds genius, I should do that. Go for it. It did help. It did help. I just wish I could get them through my head, honestly. Oh, maybe an event that suddenly makes the main character susceptible to one particular beautiful thing. I'm just not sure what it could be. And then, you know. Unexpected. Come on, Blue. Unexpectedly. Oh, I mess up spelling the word definitely often. Oh, yes. I always mix up definitely and defiantly. Oh dear. And you know, autocorrect on the phone isn't our friend when it comes to such things. Just makes everything more confusing. And you know, breathing stalls. Probably have, you know, short paragraph describing using breath. And then, yeah. I was just going to leave it ambiguous as to whether they died or whether they just, you know, had an attack and were rescued. I don't think we need to know what happened. Also, wacky idea. What if the thing that makes them a character susceptible is something less obvious, like seeing the ocean or something? Ooh, if they'd never been before. Maybe. And if we could link that into, I don't know, possibly being the only person left, or maybe the friend talking about this starts to bother them a bit. And kind of, you know, maybe they want to feel beauty even though it could kill them. And that's what sort of leads to this. You know, flirting with danger for the chance to feel beauty, I guess. Or... Well, I can personally say whenever I'm in nature in some big way, I just lose myself. Like, it's so beautiful, I'm stunned. Ooh, good idea. I'm glad you like it. Hopefully I can pull it together and do justice to it. Oh dear. It is easier to sort of plan things out on stream than to actually write them properly, but I will eventually start trying to write things properly from scratch on stream. It's just very, very daunting. Beauty. Maybe they start, I don't know, just browsing the internet, trying to find anything that makes them, you know, any sort of impact. Maybe just feel something, you know, not sure what it is, but something at a picture of the ocean. Okay, no, example of what's rolling through. Well, I did want to mention at one point the it affecting the dominant sense, but we haven't gone into what the dominant sense for the main character is, and I think, well, me at least, and possibly quite a few other readers would just sort of assume it's vision. So I like the idea of an image of the ocean sort of eliciting, you know, something small, you know, something, okay, maybe we can work with. Find a good way to describe it. Very useful notes for future Blue. So it's not unexpectedly coming upon this thing, it's purposely seeking it out. So just here, maybe been to the ocean, briefly outline, you know, maybe had planned to a few times, but plans always fell through. Two examples, maybe one's dire example, like a death in the family. One simple reason, you know, work-related or something. Oh, I remembered a funny thing. Junji Ito once wrote a manga about a honey that would taste like the best thing you ever ate and will get addicted, but when you eat it, there's a random chance you get smacked with a giant hammer and die. Oh, goodness me. Now try guessing what was his inspiration. Oh, no. I'm not sure I can do that. Goodness me. Where does the hammer come from? Does it just descend from on high and take you out when you have the honey? Oh, no. It would suck to be a mosquito. Oh. Oh, that's wonderful. I love it. Oh, that is brilliance. I do need to read some Junji Ito. Of course, I know of him and I know of many of his stories, but I haven't actually read them yet. Okay, so plan ocean trip. This being a short story, of course, all of this is just, what is it, has to be, how do you phrase it? Eloquently skated over all of these events. I suppose that's what a lot of short stories are anyway. You can't really go into any extreme detail. I suppose it just feels odd to me because I'm so used to sort of writing in the extreme detail from point A to point B. Right, maybe let's read Junji Ito's Suichi to get some inspiration for the curse stream. Ooh. That'd be fun. We'd probably have to go off and read it on our own because I doubt it's out of copyright. So, I mean, it's probably not a big deal for me to do things that aren't out of copyright right now, given I'm not monetized or anything, but still, I prefer to be safe than sorry. Yes, Curse Stream, the next brainstorming stream, which aiming for next week at the moment. It's supposed to be about inconvenient curses or jinxes. And so hopefully we can just come up with a lot of inconvenient curses and we can have more fun with it. Not that the other brainstorming sessions weren't fun, but they're both of them got a little bit depressing and a bit heavy at points. But if we just keep them as inconvenient curses, just, this person was nasty, you make life annoying for them for a little while. But yes, it also means, that there's less for me to think about beforehand for inconvenient curses, because, it's just, let's list them. let's think of some and write them out. Okay, planning the ocean trip. Feeling they might need a travel person to do it for them, but I'm guessing most travel places are going out of business, so it might be one of the last clients they have. That's depressing. Lots of people, not only lots of people dying, lots of people are avoiding anything that could affect them. Oh, Chuckles, I think I already have an idea, but I'll wait for the stream before starting this time. Maybe I'll just outline an idea. You go for it. If you have a good idea, go for it. And have fun. But I hope I'm not distracting you too much from all your other projects. What was it? I like the idea of it. It's not vision, but hearing, and it's hearing everything at the ocean. The ocean and the birds and the wind and everything. Probably rain too, because that makes it especially beautiful, at least to me. So, grey vision twitches upon my... Lord. Except greying... I suppose it's still greying vision, because the vision's going that, even though it's what they heard that set them off. I suppose they might not even know exactly, but try to make it clear. Oh, now the 7 p.m. grammar lectures are the best background noise for writing the big one. Okay. And I suppose we want something bittersweet here. And I know I want to leave it ambiguous as to whether they live or die here, but I still like the idea of, hearing assistance coming, or hearing people shouting for help. So at least then we know there's the possibility that the main character survives. Okay, so do you think that's an alright outline? I'm sorry again I couldn't have something fully written. I had intended to try to pull something together, but somehow I doubt it would have been quite as good as this, because it's probably just chatting with you guys that I come up with some of these ideas. So I'll just read the beginning again, because it's the only bit that's written properly, and we'll jump through the plan, and hopefully in the next few weeks or months I'll pull it all together. I was slinging drinks at some private dinner function when I caught it. One of the guests was a close contact with the first kid who died. I heard the guy laughing about it. Some teen choked to death trying to confess his love to his first crush. There's too many his is here, but I'll figure that out later. Never been in that situation myself, and glad of it. It's kept me alive this long, yeah. Still, I felt pretty crummy for the kid. That's no way to die. Anyway, I caught it. Everyone did. The whole function, and the city, the country, the whole goddamn world. Okay, so we'll skate over some disease details. We'll go through some... Just follow the main character through life for a bit. Oh dear. A bit more about the disease. Okay, so main character definitely has it, but seems unaffected. Asked to come in for investigations. Could have told them why. But it took a month for them to believe him. Yes. Doesn't find anything beautiful. Don't say it outright, but heavy hints. Okay, Future Blue, can you do that? Okay, so back out in the world, everyone trying to adapt. Okay, so blindfolds, earplugs, etc. Treatments. The small stuff, not the big stuff. Maybe a few more hints at some of the big stuff going down. What did we think of? You know, clinics, yeah, you know, museums, theatres, etc. Tired hill group need to be airlifted to hospital from a mountaintop. Adapat. Indeed. I tried. I think that one was... I can more blame my keyboard than me for that one, hopefully. Oh dear, wondering if they could be the only person left and how they would react to that, handle that. Talking to a friend who's, you know, laughingly says wouldn't bother them. How does this person get affected? Maybe they have nose plugs if they're more affected by smell than anything else. Just for changing things up a bit. Laughingly says wouldn't bother the main character. Yes. Yes, probably. Thank you, Ashley. You just made me, from your story, the artificial flowers only. To sort of help with this. Like wear a facial mask, maybe. Perfumes allowed. Laughingly says it wouldn't bother the main character. The character, you know, initially agrees, but think about it, you know, maybe not. Maybe can indicate maybe a family member's really sick. Can still experience love and loss even if not moved by beauty. I think I feel that a bit, honestly. Because even though, you know, with the views and the beauty of nature, I can recognize it's beautiful, but I'm not really moved by it, strangely. I don't know. It's a weird thing for me, I guess. I guess the circle of inspiration. Indeed, thank you. You've been most helpful to me. Can still appreciate and knows beauty when he sees it. So he starts to be a little bothered by the fact that they can't feel beauty and, you know, getting a bit enamored with the idea of flirting with the danger for a chance to feel real beauty. Wants to know if it's worth it. That's fair. Yeah. It bothers me occasionally, but it's, you know, as far as problems go, it's a relatively small one. So... Okay, so an event that makes the MC susceptible. Well, it's not really We don't have it suddenly making them susceptible if they're looking for it. If they're looking for something that could possibly set them off. Maybe, you know, browsing, ready to squeeze, eyes shut at any second. Examples of what scrolling through images of an ocean, a small strange feeling. Find a good way to describe it. Real talk though, I'd love to see something so beautiful it makes me cry. Yes. Yes, I'm not sure I've seen anything so beautiful it makes me cry. I definitely hear things so beautiful it makes me cry all the flippin' time. Music, it does it to me. That's what gets me. It's music. Oh dear. And you know, lots of stories make me cry, and you know, movies and books and things, but actually just seeing something so beautiful that it makes me cry, no, I haven't had that before either. I guess the closest to that was seeing the vast ocean around me or being in a large forest in a mountainous area. It's beautiful. Oh dear. Ocean. Never been to the ocean. Trip's never worked out. Planned the trip. Sadly, one of their last clients before going out of business. Okay, does get a discount. Gotta mention that. That's a very Kaz discount. That's a very Kaz thing as well. You know, he's loves a bargain. Mostly because he's broke most of the time. Oh dear, seeks out the ocean. First time, yes, seeing and hearing all of it, and I want it to be fairly clear it's the hearing that sets off main character. So, being affected quite badly. There is help coming, maybe, but yes. I want the way they express this is beauty. Do we want them to think it's worth it or not? I think it would be really poignant both ways, but let's just, for the sake of this character, believes, you know, at least for them, it's worth it. I felt like that meme comic where a person gets cursed into being a frog and just stares at the sunset, crying, feeling at peace. Oh, that's really sweet though. Alrighty. Well, at least we know what I'm going to be working with. We know what I'll be working with, and I will try to pull that together for all of us as a short story. And I probably won't do a stream reading it out since we've been working on it here, but I will definitely make a video of it and post it when I'm ready. And given how long it's taking me to do the other videos, that'll be a while. When you try to curse someone, it backfires. Indeed. But it backfires, yes. Oh dear. So yes, the next short story video will be the Phoenix story one. I'm still not settled on a title because it's been 50-50 when I've done the polls. So if you haven't actually voted in a poll, if you go back in my community tab, it should be there. And I didn't put it as having an ending date, so you should still be able to vote in it if you haven't yet, just to help me choose the title. And then I've just got to find the best time to record the audio, and then hopefully it won't take me too long to pull the video together now that I have a template from the first one. Maybe tomorrow afternoon would be a good time to record that, after hopefully my voice has warmed up a bit during the day. But yes, hopefully I'll get some main magical project work done. It's been going sadly slowly, but I'm up to the part when discussing the magical boy logistics with the cute space cat. So that's a fun. Those are some fun chapters. So hopefully that won't take me too long to read through those. Since I've now decided to sort of split up Vanguard, or what was originally called just Vanguard, into 3 shorter books, and just have the whole mean, the Shit Just Got Magical story is just one whole story, one continuous story. And so just breaking it up into lots of smaller ones, it'll mean I'll get things out sooner, hopefully. So, and there's not going to be any huge changes for the first book, which will probably be between 50 and 70,000 words. That makes each book a much more sensible length too. Ooh, yeah, I was wondering whether or not the Phoenix problem got solved. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Blue, do you digest any books, movies, shows before writing? It depends on which book I'm writing, but for Main Magical Project, actually one that really helps me is Miraculous Ladybug. Because, you know, it sort of hits the mood I'm going for. Mine's a lot sort of darker and more violent, but it's still the hope and the magicalness. And yeah, that one's really good. And there's some, you know, particular songs that can sometimes help with that mood as well. But Ladybug, honestly, early Ruby would probably help as well with that, or any Cute Earth High Magical Defense Club, whatever it is. I've forgotten the order of words. Or any magicalness I can grab. Ladybug's generally the easiest, given I don't have Crunchy at the moment. But yes, Ladybug helps. But for other ones, you know, for my high fantasy, I might need something more high fantasy-esque. You know, assuming it doesn't make me feel bad about my writing, like I'll never be as good as this sort of thing. But usually, to get into a mood, I sometimes go for the music that works for the world, but I can't normally listen to it while I'm writing anymore, unless it's something very, very, very specific. It sounds like Main Magical Project is right up my alley. I hope so. I hope so much. I love it so much. And I think that's the main reason why I probably won't wind up ever auditioning for a VTuber company, because I don't think they'd want me to write that one, and I'd be anxious about using it in case I lost access to it somehow, because I've spent so much of my life and effort and time and everything has been poured into this story, and I'm still only at the very beginning. But I actually had an anniversary related to this story just a few days ago, the 2nd of May. The 2nd of May was the day I uploaded the first chapter of the original fanfic that this is based on. That's the date I first uploaded it to AO3. So it's an important date for me, 2nd of May. Yeah, I think I've said a few times, the majority of the fic will wind up in the final version. Most of it, I mean, after the first 3 Vanguard books, well, the first one will probably be called something like Spark or The Spark or something. And the second one will probably be called Hero Business, because I like that. And the third one will be Vanguard. But after that, I'll probably be adding a little less to the fic as we go. There'll still be plenty of new material, just not nearly as much. Which means hopefully they'll be released sooner. I've heard from one translator that he likes to listen to the music of the opposite climate when he does his job, like translating Tokyo Mew Mew while listening to Rammstein. That is pretty amazing. That's really cool. I suppose with translating, that could help you sort of stay focused in an odd way, so you don't sort of go off into too far a direction that you shouldn't have in your own language, if the dissonance of the music is sort of holding you more focused to what it has to be, as opposed to... I'm explaining myself very poorly, aren't I? Not that I know, because I'm not a translator, but I am related to someone who has done a lot of translating, and they yeah, I think they've said, you know, some translators tend to go too far and add too much of themselves to it, instead of just making it the best translation of exactly what is said. I think that's... Maybe the dissonance helps them focus. That is all. Well, happy birthday, book. Well, if you have a rough draft that I can look at, I'd be happy to give you ideas. I can tell it's very important. Thank you. It is. I mean, all of my stories are ridiculously important to me, but at the moment, Main Magical Project is my heart and soul when it comes to creativity. So, if you are interested, we can maybe chat about that. It's yeah, I've got the first little bit of the first book pulled together fairly happily. I'm just working through the rest. Hopefully it won't take me too long. Hopefully it won't. I feel that. Yes, it's something I'm so glad I have. And I'm so glad I have this story, and I love it to pieces, but it's also very heavy, if you know what I mean. You know, just thinking that I won't finish it is a lot. And it's like that with all of my books, but this one in particular, because it's so long and it's been such a huge part of my life, it's kind of heavy. There has to be a balance between original and familiar when translating fiction. It sounds like it. Well, I'm also super big into writing action scenes, even though I'm not perfect. And this is my favorite things to write, draw. I adore action scenes. I never knew I was good at it until I wrote this fic. But yeah, a lot of the comments I got for that reassured me that I'm good at action scenes. So I can't wait to share these ones with you and get your opinions. And there's a lot of them. It's a magical boy-girlfriend story. And there's an awful lot of very, very physical fight scenes. Makes me so happy. Also some less magical fights as well, because Kaz does not know how to stay out of trouble. Very early on in the story, he runs into some trouble, well before the magical nest kicks in. Oh, Blue's more likely to understand a joke about useless loop than the Omsk subway. Ooh, probably. Maybe? Oh, goodness me, I'm hungry. I have some leftovers. I will consume them and maybe even make some air fryer chips to go with them. Maybe. I'm an expert on martial arts, swordsplay kind of fighting games, so I got you. Thank you, Reaper. Thank you. Oh, I already want to read this. I'm glad. I'm so glad. It's just, now that the first one is not going to be 230,000 words, but instead 50 to 70, and we'll get to the rest later. Hopefully it'll come out sooner. But I still want to do, you know, like an anime opening song for each one. So I got to figure that out too. I'm not much of a songwriter. I've got a lot of melodies that float around in my head, but I'm terrible at lyrics and I can't really pull stuff together. But I have some relatives who are quite talented musicians, so I may talk to them about it and see what they think. And, you know, it's not like any recordings of it would be particularly good at this point. It's only what I have access to. But, you know, if more people read and more people watch and things eventually start to pull together, maybe one day I'll be able to afford to redo them properly. Who knows? But I am looking forward to hopefully getting all of this together. Oh no, I see the sun rising. That's not good. I'm so sorry. I will finish up and you try to snatch an hour or two of sleep. Oh goodness me, I am so sorry. Rightio. I'm going to find my song lyrics. Where are my song lyrics? Doopy doopy doo. What's the name of the song I sing? The Parting Glass lyrics. Where are you? Here they are. Here they are. Oh dear. Sorry, they're coming up a little different and closer together. I can read them. They're fine. They're fine. Ooh, I can put my glasses on. I normally stream without my glasses in case it messes with my tracking, but, you know, my tracking isn't the most accurate anyway, so it probably doesn't matter too much. You should have memorized it by this point. I know, I probably do have it memorized. I just like to have the lyrics there just in case. Just in case. Oh dear. Well, that was a fun stream. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Next week we will aim to do a brainstorming stream. If for whatever reason we can't, I'm sorry, and I'll figure out something else. But I will do all the prep for it during the week. And that should be good. That should be good. So thank you particularly to Ashley and Elfie for your beautiful, beautiful stories. And thank you for bearing with me pulling together a plan for one of my own. I should have been more prepared for you. But yes, the trip and then last week was a bit rough with the small one getting ill and, you know, rats in the house and such. So, yes. I'm sorry, I'm about to wander off on another tangent. I shouldn't do that. But I am just so looking forward to finally sharing my actual novels with you. It was lovely tonight. Can't wait for next week. Me too. And yes, and we now have Discord. So there is Discord there if anyone wishes to chat. But yes, I do apologize in advance if I'm not too active on it. So yes, do feel free to prod me if you'd like to chat. Yes, I'm not good at initiating things. And I know it's not great of me to put that on other people, but if you ever would like to chat, please prod me. Alrighty, let's finish so some people can sleep and some people can eat. Oh, what do I say? It's been a month. What do I say? Thank you for being here, and wherever you are in the world, I've got it. Good night to you, or good evening, good afternoon, or good morning. And I hope the rest of your day is absolutely lovely, because that's what you deserve. And I will actually remember to turn down my background music so I'm not singing over it and sounding super weird. Let's see if my voice can hold up through this. Oh dear, with my luck I'm going to catch what the small one had and I'll be horribly ill next week, but we'll still go ahead, assuming I am conscious. Okay. Don't fail me, voice. Of all the money that e'er I had, I have spent it in good company. Oh, and all the harm I've ever done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory now I can't recall. Nope, my voice failed me. Sorry. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be to you all. Oh dear, honestly those lyrics are slightly different to the ones I normally use, so I almost panicked, but I recovered. Not smoothly, but I did recover. Oh dear. Bye everyone, thanks for the stories, indeed. Bye bye Anzio, bye bye. So, until next time, bye bye, bye bye.